Hello everyone, welcome to Biophilia, your all-time study mate. Today in this video, we are going to start a new chapter from class 12, Human Reproduction. If you get any help from these videos, then do not forget to like, share and subscribe. This would really help us to reach out many more who need us. Today is a new beginning of a new chapter, a chapter wherein we are going to discuss a very important process that is nothing but reproduction. Reproduction generally लोग पसंद नहीं करते हैं to speak about in normal day-to-day lives, but this is the only process by which you can ensure that the organism, वो either plant हो या animal हो, any species or any organism who wants to continue on the earth to survive, then it has to undergo the process of reproduction. Reproduction एक इतना important है that it is going to help you maintain stability in the ecosystem and then it will help to continue life on earth. समझो अगर reproduction नहीं होगा and then what will happen? One by one, as the organism dies, there is no new production, and because of that, one day earth will not have any life on it. So for that reason, it is very important in the nature, as well as this chapter is going to be important for your exams too. So this chapter will be introduction based. So here we see about humans generally. जो human reproduction होगा, we will be studying about this in this chapter. About plant reproduction, we will see in the another chapter that would be named under plant reproduction. So here focusing mainly on the humans are going to be sexually producing and viviparous organisms. So sexually producing hai, that means they are going to have gametes formation. You know what is sexually production. Then you know about viviparous as well, यानी उनके जो बच्चे होंगे, the young ones are going to take birth. What do you mean by young ones take birth? यानी उनका जो young one होगा, it will be nurtured in the mother's womb, and then the smaller size of the adult is going to take birth. वो अंडे नहीं produce करेंगे, they will be directly born, that is viviparous organisms. So अब human reproduction जो होता है, in that there are some points that you need to remember that would help you to understand the entire chapter. So let's see about these certain definitions that you need to understand. So first, the points that would come across, that is first gametogenesis. Gametogenesis, you break the word, that is gamete and genesis. Gamete, you know, these are going to be the cells which are going to fuse and form the new young one. So gametes, and genesis means formation. So formation of gametes is nothing but gametogenesis. So gametes for the case of humans, as we are studying in this chapter, gametes कौन से होंगे? For female gametes, you will have ova, or you can call it as a egg, and if you speak about male gametes, it will be called as sperms. So these are the main gametes that we are going to focus on this chapter. Then insemination. Insemination term आ सकता है on this chapter, so you should know what does it mean. So insemination is going to be the transfer of sperms into the genital tract. Males में sperms बनेंगे and it should go into the female tract to get fertilized. So the transfer is nothing but called as insemination. Then fertilization. Fertilization जो होगा, it is going to be the fusion of gametes that will be forming a zygote. So gametes जो होंगे, you know, gametes are going to be haploid, यानी सिर्फ एक one set of DNA is going to be present, or one set of genes will be present, but in zygote it will be diploid. That means it is going to have two sets of genes. So first of all, you need to also understand that ये जो दो points है, that is gametogenesis and insemination, these 2 points are going to be called as pre-fertilization points. What are these? These are pre-fertilization events. Now fertilization के बाद होगा, that is post-fertilization events. So let's see about those. So post-fertilization effects में आते हैं the next 3 points. So write it down over here. These are going to be the post-fertilization events. ना अब ये क्या होते हैं, what are these events? These are going to be first, that is implantation. implantation यानी जो भी zygote बना है उस zygote में mitosis होगा, there will be formation of blastocyst and the blastocyst will attach to the uterine wall. So that will be studied in detail in the next parts where female reproductive system will be understood. फिर आएगा gestation. gestation is nothing but whatever the blastocyst had been implanted, वो जाके माइटोसिस करके सेल्स बढ़ाएगा. देयर विल बी एम्ब्रियो फॉर्मेशन, वो एम्ब्रियो डेवलप होगा अप टू 9 months इन द केस ऑफ ह्यूमंस. सो 9 months के लिए जो वोम में एम्ब्रियो डेवलप होगा, दैट इज नथिंग बट कॉल्ड एज gestation period. Then last process that happens, that is parturation. Parturation is nothing but the arrival of the newborn baby, that is delivery of the baby out from the mother's womb. So here are some little photographs that can help you to understand. सबसे पहले क्या होगा, सबसे पहले होगा gametogenesis. So there will be egg formation, there will be sperm formation, then gametes form हो गए. Now insemination will occur. Insemination यानी gametes are going to be released into the female tract. फीमेल ट्रैक में पहुंचने के बाद हो जाएगा fertilization. After fertilization, what will happen? There is going to be implantation into the uterine wall, and after uterine wall के अंदर implant होने के बाद there will be gestation. gestation में क्या होगा? gestation में embryo formation and embryo development will occur, and then finally there will be the birth of the embryo, that is parturation. So that was about the processes that you have to study one by one in detail. So पहले हम focus करेंगे about the male reproductive system, फिर हम female reproductive system करेंगे, then about the fertilization, implantation, gestation, parturation, ऐसे करके पूरा chapter complete होगा. So let's start with the first, that is male reproductive system. सो मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम जो है, इट इज़ गोइंग टू बी द सिस्टम जहाँ पे मेल गैमीट्स फॉर्म होंगे, मेल हॉर्मोन्स विल बी फॉर्म, दैट इज़ गोइंग टू मेक द ह्यूमन मेल. सो वो क्या है, वो कहाँ है, ऑल दीज पॉइंट्स नीड टू बी studied. So first of all, male reproductive system, where is it located? It is going to be located in the pelvic region. Now in this reproductive system, what is going to be the organs involved? So सबसे पहले होंगे a pair of testis, that is 2 testes will be present in this system along with accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia. So about this is वो क्या क्या include करता है. Next we see about the major organ, जो primary organ है. What is the primary organ of this system? Primary organ is going to be the testis, that is going to produce sperms which are nothing but the gamete, and there will be hormone production जिसकी वजह से the secondary sexual characters are going to be exhibited. Then the duct system. अब duct है यानी जो gametes produce हुए हैं वो gametes testis से it should move out till the external environment. So that needs some tubing material जहाँ से वो transport हो सके. So the duct system is going to help in 3 major functions of the gametes. That is storage of gametes, function number 1. Second function, that is transportation. Third is maturation of the male gamete, that is sperms. So here you need to understand the function of duct system that has 3: storage, transportation and maturation. फिर आता है सीमेन. अब सीमेन जो है, सीमेन इज गोइंग टू प्रोवाइड द मीडियम फॉर मूवमेंट ऑफ स्पर्म्स. सो जब इंसेमिनेशन होने के बाद व्हेन इट एंटर्स इनटू द फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ट्रैक्ट, दिस सीमेन, द फ्लूइड मीडियम इज गोइंग टू हेल्प टू मूव इनटू दैट फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव ट्रैक्ट. Then the penis, which is going to be the external genitalia, that is going to help in the transfer of sperms, that is male gametes, into the female genital tract. So it is also called as copulatory organ. So copulatory organ कौन होगा? It is going to be the penis. Then scrotum and spermatic cord. These two are the structures which are going to be supporting structures. So वो support करेंगे and they are going to support to whom? It is going to support to the male gonad. And who is the male gonad or male sex organ? That is the testis. So they are going to support the testis, because testis, as you know, that these are going to be hanging out of the body. So hanging out of the body, they need some support, some connection into the main body structure. So that structure supportings are nothing but scrotum and the spermatic cord. So if you see about testis, so testis के क्या क्या नाम हमने देखे अभी तक. We saw that testis is going to be called as primary sex organ. Then it is also going to be called as male gonads. And one more thing I needed to discuss about duct system. Duct system में कौन से ducts आते हैं. So you will understand them in detail as well, but just for your sake of understanding, to remember duct system में कौन कौन होते हैं. Epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct and urethra. These four are going to help you in the storage, transport and maturation of the sperms. So let's see about the other structures one by one in detail. So first let's see about the outermost sac, that is the scrotum or the scrotal sac. अब ये scrotal sac क्या होता है? It is going to be a pouch like structure. पाउच लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है, वो बॉडी के बाहर हैंग करता है. एंड सिंस इट हैंग आउटसाइड द बॉडी, इट इज गोइंग टू बी लाइक अ स्किन फोल्ड. वो स्किन फोल्ड है, वो स्किन से बना एक बैग है, एक पाउच है. एंड दिस पाउच इज गोइंग टू हैव टू लेयर्स, द एक्सटर्नल एंड द इंटरनल. सो जो एक्सटर्नल होता है, बाहर से वो दिखने में कैसे होगा? बाहर से इफ यू सी द स्क्रोटम, इट इज गोइंग टू बी अ कंटिन्यूस लेयर and it is a continuous covering which will be divided by a median ridge. A median ridge यानी center में there will be a ridge that is called as raphe. This raphe is going to be the median ridge which will divide it into two lateral halves, यानी right and left half में divide करेगा, and there will be external folds of wrinkled skin. So if you see in the diagram over here, that is external view of scrotum. Then you can see that it will be made up of a continuous covering of tissue or a skin fold. It will have a raphe in the center, and this raphe will divide it into left and right half, and there are going to be different skin folds on the outer surface. So that makes the external sac. अब internally वो कैसे होगा? Internally it is going to डिवाइडेड बाय द स्क्रोटल सेप्टम. और स्क्रोटल सेप्टम क्या होता है? बाहर से जैसे रैफे था, सिमिलरली इंटरनली देयर विल बी स्क्रोटल सेप्टम. सो अगेन यू कैन सी इन द नेक्स्ट फिगर, that is the muscle layer. Muscle layer यानी internal layer होगा, wherein you are going to find the scrotal septum which is in the between. वो होगा scrotal septum. अब ये scrotal septum is going to divide internally. और ये किससे बना होगा? It will be made up of smooth muscle bundles. और ये smooth muscles दो होते हैं. First it is going to be dartos muscle. So you can see here where is the dartos muscle. You can locate the labeling. और उसी के साथ dartos muscle से तो scrotal septum बनेगा. But there is going to be one more muscle that is called as cremaster muscles. So two muscles which are going to be present, that is dartos muscle and the cremaster muscles, which will be in the internal surface. अभी अगर आपको पता करना है that you know inside this muscle layer also what is going to happen. Inside the muscle layer you are going to reach to find the testis. So you can see even in the deep tissue layers you will find the testis, you will find lymphatic vessels, you will find nerves, you will find arteries जो उनको blood supply पहुंचाएंगे, and all these things are going to be understood in detail one by one. So again about scrotal sacs, so there is a very important phenomenon that occurs. So generally scrotal sac का importance क्या है? So scrotal sac that has two muscles. First muscle that is dartos muscle और second muscle that is cremaster's muscle. So dartos muscle जो होता है और cremaster muscle, it has some function that has to do with the climatic temperature. So अगर cold environment है, यानी if the male is living in some cold environment जहाँ पे temperature बहुत कम होता है, when the temperature is lowered, what is going to happen? These muscles are going to contract. So how can you remember? You can remember cold is related to contract. सो कोल्ड टेम्परेचर में मसल्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करेंगे एंड दीज मसल्स व्हाई विल दे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट? बिकॉज इफ डार्टोस मसल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स द स्क्रोटल सैक विल बिकम कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड, इट विल बिकम मोर व्रिंकल्ड. और व्रिंकल्स जब आते हैं, व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? दे विल प्रिवेंट हीट लॉस. हीट लॉस नहीं होने देंगे, बिकॉज जब wrinkle होता है what will happen? Because of wrinkling there will be surface area that is decreased. surface area decrease हो जाएगा, जिसकी वजह से heat loss कम हो जाएगा. and when heat loss is decreased the internal body temperature remains at constant level, ताकि जब बाहर का टेम्परेचर ठंडा है the spermatogenesis यानी गैमेट्स के ऊपर कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं आएगा. Similarly, cremaster muscle is also going to help in the same function, that is it will be regulating the temperature for the testis. So cremaster muscle testis को it will pull it near the body pull करेगा so that the testis can have more amount of heat. क्योंकि आपको पता है the testis which is present in the scrotal sac which is hanging outside the body, so outside the body है, that means it has very little influence on the body temperature. बाहर है बॉडी के, मतलब वो आउटर एक्सटर्नल टेम्परेचर पर डिपेंड करेगा. बट हियर नाउ व्हेन इट नीड्स हीट, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन? द क्रीमास्टर मसल विल pull the testis towards the body. Now what will happen during the warm environment? अगर वो मैन या वो मेल अगर कोल्ड की जगह पे warm environment में चला गया, so warm environment में the same exact opposite substance will happen. That is dartos muscle जो contract हुआ था, instead of contraction relaxation will occur and the dartos muscle will get spreaded a lot, जिसकी वजह से वो flat surface हो जाएगा, body heat loss ज़्यादा होगी, cooling formation होगा and all that thing will reverse that happened in the cold environment. और ये सब क्यों हो रहा था? It was only for one reason, that is to maintain the temperature that is required for normal functioning in the testis. Now scrotal जो हमने डिस्कस किया अभी कि जो स्क्रोटम के अंदर के मसल्स है वो सिर्फ एक ही only एक ही एम है उनका, that is to maintain the normal temperature for normal spermatogenesis. क्योंकि टेस्टिस को अगर नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर नहीं मिला, that is to produce normal perfect sperms, the temperature in the testis should be 2 to 3 degrees lower than the body temperature. body temperature से कम चाहिए, so उनको body के दूर ले जाना है. So for that reason the testis was located in the scrotum so that it can remain outside the body, और उनको ये 2 to 3 degree lower body temperature मिल जाए so that the gamete formation can occur at a smoother rate. So that was about the little normal thing that occurs in this body when the temperature changes in the environment. So cold temperature पे contraction की वजह से testis body के पास आएगी और warmer temperature पे body से दूर जाएगी so that it can maintain the 2 to 3 degree lower temperature and maintain normal spermatogenesis process. Now about the testis, that is the male gonad. अब male gonad जो है that is testis, it is going to be a paired structure. अब testis जो है वो क्या है? वो एक gland है, right? You know that testis is going to be a gland which is paired, that is वो दो होंगे in the body. They will be oval shaped, they will be glandular structures present in the pouch like structure called as scrotum. अब ये testis जो होते हैं, these testis are going to be primary sex organs. Primary है because these are going to be very important because they are going to produce sperms and they are going to produce male sex hormone, that is testosterone. So testosterone or sperm formation is the main function of testis. Now what is the dimensions of this organ? This gland or this organ is going to be about 5 centimeter in length, 3 centimeters in width, and it will have a weight about 10 to 15 grams per testis. Now a very important process that occurs which is done by humans, that is removal of testis. कुछ लोगों में ये testis remove कर दिए जाते हैं purposefully, that is called as castration. Now why castration is done and वो किस लोगों में होता है? It is generally done in European choir and it is done in aggressive bulls. अब coir boys और aggressive bulls में testis remove करने की क्या वजह है? The reason is very simple, that testis is the gland which is going to release testosterone. अब testosterone जो male hormone है, that hormone is going to be responsible for voice changes. So जब ये hormone release होता है in the puberty times, so hormone when is it released? It is released during the puberty. So released in puberty, they are going to change the voice of the boy. So वो high pitched voice से it will reduce the pitch, जिसकी वजह से on the maturity the choir voice loses the ability to sing at high pitches. So high pitch voice maintain करना चाहिए even after their puberty. So the testis is being removed, so वो hormone produce नहीं होगा, and then there won't be any voice changes. So that was for the choir voice happening in humans. अब aggressive voice में testis क्यों remove करते हैं? Again it is because of the hormone release. Testis जो testosterone release करेगा, the testosterone is going to produce anger. वो anger produce करेगा in the body at high levels. So aggressiveness जो आएगा, that is because of the hormone production. So when the testis is removed, hormone production will be lowered down or even be negligible, जिसकी वजह से वो bulls aggressive नहीं होंगे. So that is the reason of castration in choir boys and aggressive bulls. So if you can locate about in this particular diagram, testis कहाँ होगा? Testis is going to be this particular organ which is going to be over glandular and paired. So that is about testis. Now how this testis is actually going to descend? Descent of testis यानी वो originally testis scrotum में नहीं होगी. Instead of in scrotum, where is it going to be? It is going to be located in the posterior of the abdominal wall. यानी वो body के अंदर होगी originally. But after few months of embryonic development, the testis is going to descend. It will move downwards, और वो downwards move करेगी, that means it will start to descend. And when it starts to descend, उसको एक particular pathway चाहिए. It should have some decided path ताकि वो इधर उधर भटके नहीं. So that particular pathway is nothing but inguinal canal. Now this canal is going to give start and end to the scrotal descent. So testis जब descend करेंगे into the scrotum from the posterior abdominal wall, वो same pathway, वो same canal से आएंगे, that is inguinal canal, और उनको पकड़ के रखने के लिए, so that from slowly they can pass through the canal. वो जैसे this is nothing but like you are passing a bucket tied with a rope. So generally in rural areas जहाँ पे well present है, so well में क्या होता है? Well, you can imagine the well is going to be the scrotum. So scrotum के अंदर the testis needs to descend. So how is it going to descend? वो छोटी जो bucket होगी, वो bucket को रस्सी लगाई जाएगी, and the rope will be slowly pushed down so that it can reach into the well without splashing lot of water. So वो जो bucket है वो धीरे धीरे जानी चाहिए, ना कि एकदम से फटाक से नीचे गिर जाए. तो वैसे नहीं होने के लिए आप क्या टाई करोगे? रोप टाई करोगे. सो दैट रोप फंक्शन इज गोइंग टू बी बिकॉज ऑफ द टेस्टिकुलर लिगामेंट. The testicular ligament is going to help so that it slowly descends down. That is nothing but the gubernaculum. So gubernaculum की वजह से it will slowly descend down and finally it will come into the scrotal sac when it is about 7th month of fetal life. So 7th month of fetal life में the testes are going to completely descend into the scrotum. So you can see in the diagram as well what is going to happen. Original position of the testis कहाँ थी? It was in the posterior abdominal wall. A posterior abdominal wall से this path of descent has been taken and now it has been located in the scrotum. So the positions जो वो पार करके आता है, that is intra abdominal location that was present inside the abdomen. फिर वो internal ring cross करेगा, canaliculi cross करेगा, the external ring, and now superficial inguinal pouch के बाद scrotum में land करेगा. So these are the positions that the testis descends slowly because of the testicular ligament gubernaculum. एंड फाइनली वो कब नीचे आ जाएगा इनटू द स्क्रॉटम, बाय द हाफ ऑफ द 7th month ऑफ फीटल लाइफ. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट इज फीटल लाइफ. वो एडल्ट में बिफोर द बर्थ द टेस्टिस विल डिसेंड इनटू द स्क्रॉटम. सो दैट वाज अबाउट इट. नाउ नेचर में हमेशा सब चीज़ें परफेक्ट हो ज़रूरी नहीं होता है. समटाइम्स देयर कैन बी सम मिसहैप, कोई गलती हो जाती है, और ऐसी एक गलती या ऐसी एक चूक जो हो जाती है बिकॉज ऑफ द इनएबिलिटी कि वो टेस्टिस डिसेंड करे बाय द 7th month ऑफ फीटल लाइफ. सो अगर ये टेस्टिस डिसेंड नहीं कर पाती है कम्प्लीटली, और इवन इट डजंट स्टार्ट टू डिसेंड, व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन, देयर इज अबनॉर्मैलिटी, और वो अबनॉर्मैलिटी का नाम होता है क्रिप्टोरिज्म. Cryptorchism is nothing but a condition wherein the testis is going to fail to descend. So वो जो scrotum में दिखनी चाहिए after the birth, it will not be found in the scrotum. The scrotum will be empty. So when the doctors after the birth of the child, वो scrotum को अगर feel करेंगे, so scrotum feels empty, वो उनमें उनको कोई हार्ड सब्सटेंस फील नहीं होगा, एंड दैट दे कैन अंडरस्टैंड कि स्क्रॉटम में कोई हार्ड फीलिंग नहीं है. दैट मीन्स द टेस्टिस फेल्ड टू डिसेंड. अब फेल टू डिसेंड है यानी अब वो टेस्टिस कहाँ रह गई है, इट हैज़ रिमेन्ड इन द एब्डोमिनल वॉल ओनली, वो डिसेंड नहीं कर पाई. एंड now because of the testis is only remaining in the abdomen, what will happen, the problems will start, क्योंकि 2 to 3 degrees temperature कम उसे नहीं मिलेगा, and then the other procedures can be done, जिसकी वजह से that conditions that occurs after because of fail to descend. जस्ट यहाँ पे अभी क्या याद रखना है, that failed to descend, that is testis when fails to descend, the condition will be called as cryptorchism. And the testis which is going to descend वो scrotum में दिख जाएगी. The scrotum will be felt hard, it will be felt full, but अगर वो descend नहीं करेगी वो empty feel करेगी. So by that, when the doctor touches the scrotum of the newborn, it can understand whether the testis has been descended completely or it could not descend. Now let's understand about the coverings of testis. Coverings of testis में the testis, the male gonad will be covered by 3 tunics. 3 tunics या 3 covers या 3 layers both, so anything is fine. So these 3 layers will be found on the anterior and the lateral surface. जबकि posterior surface पे if you understand, the posterior surface पे only one single layer of Tunica Albuginea will be found. But for our study we need to study all the 3 coverings, all the 3 layers, so study them one by one. So सबसे पहले सबसे बाहर की layer, that is the outermost layer, that is going to be called as Tunica Vaginalis. Now not to get confused कि Tunica Vaginalis males में क्या कर रहा है, because Vaginalis you might sound it similar to vagina, and vagina going to be a female organ. But now why is it over here? So not to go with the name, just remember Tunica Vaginalis is going to be the covering of the testis found in males. So outermost layer होगा, it is an incomplete layer. Now why incomplete layer? Because it is going to be absent on the posterior surface. अब ये develop कैसे होती है, how this Tunica Vaginalis comes up into the testis? So वो होगा because of the extension of peritoneum. So peritoneum is the मेम्ब्रेन जो सारे एब्डोमिनल ऑर्गन्स को साथ में बांध के रखेगी. सो एज यू नो दैट द टेस्टिस वाज प्रीवियसली फाउंड इन द पोस्टीरियर वॉल्स ऑफ एब्डोमेन. So since it was found in abdomen previously, जब वो descend करता है, during the descent the peritoneum is going to get extended, it is going to stretch as the descent occurs. So because of that this Tunica Vaginalis is going to get covered on the outermost layer. अब ये जो layer है, that is Tunica Vaginalis, it is going to be made up of 2 layers. So these 2 layers are nothing but visceral layer and the parietal layer. So parietal जो comparatively बाहर के side होगी, and visceral layer that is the inner layer. Now these two layers, that is the parietal layer and the visceral layer, अगर ये दो layers के बीच में अगर fluid भर जाता है, if there is fluid filled up between these two layers, then the condition will be called as hydrocele. What is it called? The condition is called as hydrocele, जहाँ पे fluid भर जाएगा, and this fluid accumulation is not a good sign. It is going to cause abnormality or a condition called as hydrocele. Now the next layer, that is Tunica Albuginea. Tunica Albuginea कहाँ होगा? It will be inner to the Tunica Vaginalis, and it is going to form the white capsule. So if you get a chance to dissect testis during your MBBS course, then this testis, when you dissect, you are going to find that it is going to look white in color. So why is it white? Because of the Tunica Albuginea that is covering the testis. So जो tunica albuginea होता है, it is going to be made up of dense irregular connective tissue that gives it the white fibrous capsule. Now this is going to invaginate, यानी जो tunica albuginea है, जो posterior surface पे भी मिलता है, it is going to invade into the internal parts of testis, and when it invades, वो क्या करेगा? It is going to form partitions to form the testicular lobules. So partition बना के, वो partitions के अंदर वो छोटे छोटे compartments, वो rooms के अंदर कौन मिलेगा? You will find the seminiferous tubules. So if you can see over here in this diagram, then the outermost layer, that is understood by the purple color. So purple color में जो दिख रहा है, that is going to be your tunica vaginalis, that is having parietal layer, और अंदर का जो पर्पल कलर है, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द विसरल लेयर. अब ये दोनों लेयर्स के बीच में जो कैविटी है, दैट इज बाय द वाइट कलर, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी, इफ गेट फिल्ड विथ फ्लूइड, तो वो हाइड्रोसियल कंडीशन होगी. Now below that tunica vaginalis, you can be able to see the little blue lines. So जो blue lines होंगे, those blue lines are nothing but tunica albuginea. Now these are going to invade into internal structures and form the testicular lobules. So in this diagram you can easily understand how the testicular lobules are going to be found because of the tunica albuginea's invasion. अब ट्यूनिका एल्बुजिनिया के बाद सबसे इंटरनल लेयर आती है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ट्यूनिका वास्कुलोसा. So tunica vasculosa is going to be the innermost layer, and it will be made up of connective tissue. So वो connective tissue है, यानी all those vascular structures are going to be present in this layer. That is why the name, that is tunica vasculosa. So these make up the three coverings or three tunic of the testis. Now let's understand about the parenchyma of testis. Parenchyma यानी जो tissue mass है found in the testis, that is nothing but the parenchyma of testis. Now testis के अंदर जो main tissue mass है, it is going to be because of two structures, that is lobules of testis. So lobules of testis जो है वो form किसकी वजह से होंगे? These compartments are going to be formed because of the wall formation. So wall formation कौन करेगा? It will be by the tunica albuginea, which was the middle layer. So tunica albuginea, the white layer. So you can see over here in this figure as well. So जो blue में दिख रहा है, that is invaginating inside the testis to form the testicular lobules. अब ये lobules जो बन जाएंगे, इनके अंदर क्या होगा? Lobules के अंदर होंगे seminiferous tubules. So seminiferous tubules will be present inside the lobules, but between the lobules क्या होगा? That is interlobular space में क्या होगा? Interlobular space में या interstitial cells होंगे, and these interstitial cells are called as leading cells. अब ये leading cells क्या होते हैं, हम डिस्कस करेंगे in detail after few slides. So this was about कि ट्यूनिका एल्बुजिनिया ने कंपार्टमेंट्स बनाए. सो दो कंपार्टमेंट के बीच में देयर विल बी सम लॉबी स्पेस. सो लॉबी स्पेस में कौन नजर आएगा? लॉबी स्पेस में नजर आएंगे दीज इंटरस्टिशियल सेल, दैट इज लेडिंग सेल्स. और वो कंपार्टमेंट या वो रूम के अंदर कौन मिलेगा? रूम के अंदर मिलेंगे seminiferous tubules. So how many rooms are there in the testis? These are nothing but about 200 to 300 lobules, and each lobule will have about 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. So यहाँ पे जो येलो एंड ऑरेंज मास के जो ट्यूब्स नजर आ रहे हैं, these are nothing but going to be your seminiferous tubules. Now seminiferous tubules, these are going to be sitting inside the lobules. अब ये lobules के अंदर जो small tubes है, these tubes are going to be the place जहाँ पे male gametes will be formed, that is spermatogenesis process is going to occur. Now these small tubes, how small are these? These are going to be about 1 to 3 centimeters in length and about 100 to 150 micrometer. So ये जो symbol है वो किसका symbol है? It is going to be for micrometer. So वो micrometer is going to be 10 raised to minus 6 meters. So such a small diameter will be present, or it will be about 1 to 3 centimeters in length. So these are the two parenchymas of the testis, that is lobules of testis and the seminiferous tubules. Now the cells of seminiferous tubules. So cells may, these are going to be the three cells, that is spermatogenic cells, that are nothing but sperm forming cells. फिर आएंगे the next cells that we'll see in the next slide. So focusing now about the sperm forming cells. So sperms कैसे form होंगे? It will be because of the primary mother cell, that is called as primordial germ cell, that is PGC. Primordial germ cell जो होगा वो धीरे धीरे differentiate करके अपने आप को convert करेगा, so that it will finally form into the male gamete, that is sperm. So what are the stages that it needs to go through? That is, first it will convert itself from PGC, that is primordial germ cell, अपने आप को convert करेगा into spermatogonia. Spermatogonia के बाद primary spermatocyte, then secondary spermatocyte, then spermatid, and finally there will be formation of sperms, the male gamete. Now all these development whatever was going on, यानी primordial germ cell से लेकर up till the sperm, all this development is going to occur up till the Sartoli cells. अब Sartoli cells जो होंगे, these are going to be helping so that the development can occur from which stages? Two stages, that is spermatogonia से लेकर spermatid stage तक. They will be attached to Sartoli cells through cytoplasmic connections, and these will be attached up till the spermatid. फिर जब वो sperm में differentiate हो जाएगा तो sperm में convert होते ही साथ वो Sartoli cells से release हो जाएगा into the lumen. Now सबसे पहले a very important question should arise to your mind कि चलो प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल से तो कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा अप टिल द स्पर्म, बट फ्रॉम वेयर डज द प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल कम इनटू द बॉडी? सो प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल्स जो है वो फर्स्ट टाइम माइग्रेट करेंगे फ्रॉम द योक सैक. सो योक सैक जो एम्ब्रियो के अंदर दिखेगा व्हेन द फर्टिलाइजेशन ऑकर्ड, सो एम्ब्रियो के साथ साथ जो योक सैक होगा वो योक सैक से ड्यूरिंग द 5th week, okay, remember that is 5th week of development of the fetal testis, उस टाइम पे ये योक सैक से प्राइमोर्डियल जर्म सेल्स माइग्रेट करेंगे and that will form, they will get accumulated, and once the puberty is onset, तब से ये primordial germ cells will start converting, will start differentiating, and then finally the sperm formation will start. So primordial germ cells कहाँ से आएंगे? They are going to come from the yolk sac. Very important question. वो आएंगे yolk sac से during the 5th week of development of the fetal testis. So यहाँ पे अभी तक हमने दो डेट्स के रिलेटेड चीज़ें देखी. फर्स्ट दैट वाज 5th week of development में क्या होगा? प्राइमोर्डियल germ cells will migrate from yolk sac into the fetal testis. And what was the next one? That is 7th month. 7th month of fetal life में क्या होगा? 7th month of fetal life में there is going to be descent of testis. So जो descent of testis है that is happening in the 7th month. of the fetal life or 5th week, that is about 1 month past, the fetal testis is going to have the primordial germ cells. Now the second cells that are formed in the seminiferous tubules, that is Sartori cells. So Sartori cells में अभी हमने पढ़ा कि from the stage of spermatogonia up till the spermatid, the Sartori cells will help to hold these cells. Now Sartori cells के कुछ और नाम भी होते हैं. So what are the other names of that? That is also called as tentacular cells, nursing cells और supporting cells. सो अगर आपको क्वेश्चंस में ऑप्शंस में सर्टोली सेल्स नहीं नज़र आता है देन यू कैन फाइंड फॉर दीज पर्टिकुलर नेम्स. नाउ अब ये सेल्स कहाँ मिलेंगे, सर्टोली सेल्स कहाँ होंगे? दे विल बी फाउंड इन द ल्यूमेन. So lumen is nothing but the cavity that is of the seminiferous tubules. Now how are these cells? If you can see in the diagram over here, how the cells, these are going to be large. So you can see how large the cells are going to be. They are large, they are going to be tall enough. These are tall, these are irregular. उनके जो surfaces है वो कुछ ऐसे खास regularity नहीं है. These are going to be large, tall, irregular, and these are going to be columnar cells. And these cells are going to extend from the basement membrane. So here you can see that there is going to be basement membrane जहाँ से ये develop होंगे into the lumen. Now the Sartori cells will be connected to each other. So you can see that in the diagram as well. So where are they going to be connected? How are they connected? These are going to be connected with the help of tight junction. So tight junction से ये as a glue. So दो पेपर को glue से चिपका दिया. So likewise the tight junctions will provide as a प्रोटेक्शन कि वो कोई भी दूसरे टाइप ऑफ जीन को एंट्री ना दे पाए. So these tight junctions will prevent the entry of different type of genes, and this prevention of the entry is going to be helpful for formation of blood testis barrier. So let me explain you a bit more about blood testis barrier. ये होता क्या है, and if the tight junctions do not work properly, what can be the consequences? So a very simple logic that you need to understand, Sartori cells जो है, these Sartori cells are going to be formed by mitosis after the embryo has been developed. So zygote से जब embryo बनेगा of that male, वो जब वो छोटा था उस टाइम पे ये Sartori cells में 2n condition होगी. So this is going to have two sets of genes. Now अब जब ये Sartori cells के पास two sets of gene है and there are sperms as well. So जो sperms है वो sperms के अंदर it is not necessary that the same entire composition is found. तब क्या होगा, ये Sartori cells जब they are going to undergo meiosis, हो सकता है कि कुछ characteristics, कुछ genes exchange हो जाए and the sperm will going to have different set of genes. So जब Sartori cells और sperm के genes अलग अलग है, what will happen? The body of the man of जो मेल है उसकी बॉडी क्या नोटिस करेगी? It will find its own sperms. वो उसके खुद के sperms को, because it has different genes, it will find itself as a दुश्मन समझेगा body. And once it finds that these are having different set of genes, it is going to be harmful for our body. वो सारे के सारे sperms को मारना शुरू कर देगा. And what will happen? The sperm production will not occur. अगर ये Sartori cells और sperms एक साथ आ जाते हैं आमने सामने. So because they should not come in front of each other, body should not understand. Body generally blood should not understand क्योंकि blood में flow होते हैं antibodies. So अगर blood के अंदर के antibodies को खबर पहुंच गई कि यहाँ पे कुछ खतरा है, something is different from our body cells, then what will happen? Blood के अंदर के antibodies आके there will be reaction and all the sperms will die. So we do not need that stuff. So वो blood should not reach up till the last stage, that is of the sperms, so that there is a barrier. So वो barrier क्या है? वो tight junction है, and that tight junction, because it is preventing the blood so that antibodies cannot understand कि वहाँ पे sperms है of different genes, that is nothing but called as blood testis barrier. So I hope you understood about this in detail. Now what are the functions of Sartori cells? So Sartori cells के major 4 functions है. First of all, to provide support. So because of support, उसको नाम दिया गया है supporting cells. They will provide protection, they will nourish, and because they nourish the young spermatogenic cells, उनको nursing cells भी बोलते हैं. Now second function of Sartori cells, that is they will secrete an enzyme that is called as aromatase. Aromatase enzyme क्या करेगा? It is going to convert the testosterone into estrogen. So a very important point here you can understand that testosterone जब estrogen में convert होता है, that means a small amount of estrogen is going to be always found in the male body as well. So small amount of estrogen found in male body is completely fine. Similarly, even in the female body, a small amount of testosterone will be present. So that is because of the enzyme that is aromatase. फिर वो और एक release करेगा that is called as androgen binding protein. Now this androgen binding protein will be released so that it can help to keep the testosterone level high in the seminiferous tubules. So जब ये प्रोटीन्स रिलीज होंगे वो सारे के सारे टेस्टोस्टेरॉन को अपने तरफ अट्रैक्ट करेंगे. इट विल बाइंड विद द टेस्टोस्टेरॉन एंड बिकॉज इट बाइंड्स what will happen, the testosterone level will be always high. और जब testosterone levels high होंगे तब क्या होगा, the male gamete formation that is spermatogenesis will occur smoothly. Now everything should happen in balanced manner. So कुछ ज़्यादा कुछ कम नहीं होना चाहिए. So for that there will be release of inhibin. This is again a hormone which will inhibit the secretion of FSH, and there will also be a counter effect, that is release of activin, which will activate the secretion of FSH. So FSH जब release होता है, it is going to stimulate nothing but the formation of gametes. So formation of gametes start करना है, then activin will be released. अगर stop करना है temporary, then inhibin will be released. So both the hormones, that is activin and inhibin, will be secreted by the Sartori cells. So this completes about the functions of Sartori cells. Now coming to the last type of cells of the seminiferous tubule, that is leading cells. Now these leading cells are going to be also called as interstitial cells. Interstitial because these will be found between the two seminiferous tubules. So if you see in the diagram, यहाँ पे होंगे दो seminiferous tubules. So this is seminiferous tubule number 1 और यहाँ पे है seminiferous tubule number 2. So ये 1 है, ये 2 है, however you need. इन दोनों के बीच में whatever the space is left out, so this space is nothing but called as interstitial space. और interstitial space के अंदर जो cells होते हैं, those cells are nothing but called as leading cells or interstitial cells. So ये cells का क्या function होता है? These are going to be endocrine cells. Endocrine cells, that means these are having a function of glandular. So glands का क्या function होता है? To release something. So these endocrine glands cells are going to be found out in the interstitial cells, and these are going to secrete the most prevalent androgen, that is called as testosterone. So testosterone का secretion कौन करेगा? Testosterone will be secreted with the help of interstitial cells, that is leading cells. So testosterone, what is its function? Testosterone जो release हो रहा है, it is going to be responsible for the male character. So whatever appearance you can see of a male, जिसकी वजह से आप वो मेल है ये पहचानते हो, that is external appearance, the voice modulation, the facial hair, the tight and stout body, all that changes that occurs after the puberty, that are going to occur because of release of testosterone from the interstitial cells. And one more function of testosterone, that is sexual excitement. So whenever the testosterone level rises, the sexual excitement can be occurred in the males. So these are the two functions, that is male character, that is secondary sexual characters, you can also call that way. So secondary sexual characters, a male character will be because of testosterone release, and even the sexual excitement will be because of the testosterone released by the leading or the interstitial cells. So this completes about the basic understanding about male reproductive system. So male reproductive system में अभी तक हमने क्या देखा है? We have understood about the major main primary sex organ, that is about testis. हमने वो testis की location देखी, that was the scrotum. We saw about the male gonad के बाद हमने उसकी coverings के बारे में पढ़ा. We saw about the parenchyma cells and the cells of seminiferous tubules, and with this we come to the end of the part 1 of male reproductive system. So now in the next video we will understand about the remaining part of the male reproductive system, that is about the duct system. So duct जो transportation, storage और maturation में help करेंगे, हम उसके बारे में पढ़ेंगे. We will also understand about the accessory glands. So all that will be covered up in the next video. So stay connected to Biophilia. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Till we come back with the next part of this chapter, keep studying, keep smiling. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.